Welcome to Rhinos and Aliens.
What's the title? The title's all wrong now.
Because the title...
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, because it's What If Guns Akimbo got lost in the jungle.
Well, let's do Guns. Let's do that order then. Fuck it.
The title decides. True, but is the film about Adam Driver or Daniel Radcliffe?
It's about Daniel Radcliffe, which is why this is the Daniel Radcliffe episode.
Yes. Okay, so just so you guys know, this is a romantic comedy. It is directed by Michael Dowse, written by Ellen Mastel, and it is based on a T.J. Dahl and Michael Rinaldi play, Toothpaste and Cigars.
Really?
Which, by the way...
I like that title better.
I really hope the play is a lot different from the film because I don't know where Toothpicks and Cigars...
Toothpaste and Cigars.
Oh, Toothpaste. Yeah, Toothpaste.
Not to be confused with Cigarettes and Chocolate Milk, which is a song.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And he just has the cash to drop to fly to I forgot where, but...
Not only fly to, but fly right back.
Right, because that's no big deal.
Yes. Yeah, like flying to Europe is cheap, guys. It's like flying to Costa Rica.
I don't know. Maybe he has lots of miles saved up.
He could. By the time what was it? He was 20 or 21?
Yeah, he has the space to experiment. His career is certainly not on the line.
He could do plays for the rest of his life,
right.
And he would...
Yeah. Toothpaste and...
and cigars. Yes. This is one of my favorite scenes of the film when Daniel Radcliffe is talking to Adam Driver after Adam Driver gave him some advice about what to do with his cousin. So your advice is to be sleazy, conniving, or pathetic. ... When you put it like that, then it doesn't sound like good advice at all. So Daniel Radcliffe said, so your advice is to be sleazy, conniving, and pathetic. And then Adam Driver responds by saying, damn, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound like good advice at all. But when you think about it...
It wasn't good advice at all.
It wasn't good advice, but everything Adam Driver said...
I feel like all the other options are things that you would unconsciously fall into one of those. It's not necessarily a choice.
Which is why, even though it's bad advice, it's realistic.
It is very realistic.
It's a lose-lose-lose
right
situation.
His friend here, I don't want to be... he has changing attitudes throughout he's kind of a hypocrite in this movie.
What is the code for friending, fucking, and eventually loving a best friend's family member? Specifically for this film, does it change if it's just cousins?
Kim being related to her is as much of an ethical issue as her being in a relationship is. I feel like if you're a respectful person, if which he appeared to be, then there should be no problem. If you I think you should treat every woman like it's somebody's sister, right?
That's a good way. There would be a lot less domestic.
If you're a man of integrity, then there should be no problem with that kind of thing. When he gave the last option and he said honesty, he's like he said
when they were walking down the sidewalk, he said,
he's like, do you think Bruce Willis would put up with this shit? And I really appreciated that. But it actually led them into a conversation about masculinity, which I appreciated, because I feel like there's this misconception that this pop conception of masculinity, that it's about pushing down, your feelings and being the same misconception of like stoicism in the modern world, whereas that it's about being heartless and just taking what you want and blah, blah, blah. But I think, true masculinity lies in being
diverse,
and being honest with yourself and contending with feelings so that you create a relationship with them to where they don't control you and wave you around.
And I think Bruce Willis...
And what would Bruce Willis do? Since we're on the Armageddon topic anyway.
I think Bruce Willis would make the quote-unquote masculine move just because Bruce Willis was born that way. I feel Bruce Willis is quote-unquote more a man than Daniel Radcliffe in terms of masculinity.
I don't think there's a question about that at all. Yeah.
But it's being true to himself. So
yes, he would be pure honesty.
Yes.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny asking what Bruce Willis would do. It's like a turn on the manly version of what would Jesus do or what would Socrates do. The what would Chuck Norris do? Kind
Or a director version of what would Michael Bay do?
Right. Well, he'd blow it up, obviously.
What's more masculine than that?
Cars and explosions.
Can opposite sexes actually be attracted to each other and just be friends?
Lover, right?
Oh, I believe that because you already fucked them.
So what's the difference? Yeah, right. So what's the difference?
For me, it's the fucking.
Right.
No, I'm being so serious, bro.
Sex to save the friendship.
Dude, because it's
that
at least...
reminds me of a Seinfeld thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess we need to define terms here. What is friendship? What
Can
does that
friends
mean?
fuck? So do you believe in friends with benefits?
No, that's a stupid concept.
Okay, so if you believe in that, how can you say two friends can fuck and it's fine?
Okay, they're not friends while they're fucking. but
I'm not taking this L. I got you, bro. Okay. We already hinted at this. Which sex is more likely to crack first?
Men. That we're just biologically alone. Men are more motivated to. That's just a Darwinian thing, and then also like
which is
emotionally, even though this is not popular, emotionally men are more needy. That's just a fact. In rates of people who get remarried after like widows and widowers, the man is much more likely to have to find a new spouse because we just can't take being alone.
But that's the key point. Men are more needy single.
Right.
Women are more needy when they're in a relationship. That's
fair. Women behave differently in relationships. The reason women are okay alone is because they interact with their friends differently. They get emotional support and much more from their friends than guy friendships do. Guy friendships don't fill that gap. They need a woman to get that kind of support from. When a woman comes into a relationship, she expects the same thing from her spouse as she gets from all her relationships, because that's just what a relationship is, isn't it? So women are better at providing that kind of thing. Not that men can't.
Which is why they're better alone.
Right.
With the neediness.
Right. But we have pieces missing, I guess. Men.
No, we do. We do.
So was that a selfish motive?
Oh, that's good.
Because engaging in that would have he was trading, in a sense.
So technically, the unselfish move would have actually been sleeping with her.
Right.
Holy shit. Wow. No, that's a great perspective. I wasn't even thinking about it from that. Because technically speaking, he only turned it down because
after he considered that.
That fucking selfish hobo.
Yeah, I know. Jesus.
God.
Everyone in this movie is a horrible person. And I withdraw that he can date my cousin.
Yeah, bro. You think you know somebody.
I know.
Wow. Who would have thought that
horrible.
Sleeping with a friend or a sister would have actually been the right move in a situation like this?
Yeah. Remember that. Sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Now, we hinted at this at the beginning of the episode. What were your thoughts about him flying from Toronto to Dublin, discovering that his love just booked a flight back to Toronto after being punched in the face?
After being punched in the face.
Yeah, first off, what...
Not before or during.
Could you even put yourself in a situation like this, or is this just too film-like?
That was the only part that felt like I was watching a rom-com.
I agree.
Both the lack of consideration for money and just the grand gestures of people don't do this. He would have called her.
That was the first thought for me.
She wouldn't even gotten a phone call. He would have texted. I would have felt validated in my assumption because she did the same damn thing, right?
Yeah, I was right. I did.
Guess this was the right move.
Yes.
I mean, getting punched in the face would have been confirmation enough.
I just spent $2,000 for no reason.
Right. Totally worth it.
But in his mind, it was totally worth it.
Do you believe him?
What did he specifically?
That they were. I think. What did he say? They were
They were just
She had
just
too
a
much to
coworker.
drink. She's
Yeah.
a coworker, and I was helping her walk back to her residence.
What woman who isn't fucking that guy would be so nonchalant about being thrown off of a 5-step high?
He's thrown everyone in this movie down those steps.
For real.
That's the key.
That's the key.
You can make it all the way up those steps. In fact, the farther you make it, the worse it is when you when you give in.
Okay, so to finish out this film, what would you be willing to do in order to be with the love of your life?
Oh, jeez.
So what's the furthest you would go?
What's the biggest airfare I'd pay?
To relate it to this film, yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm young, but I'm also getting too old for all that
Romantic.
grand romantic nonsense. I appreciate simplicity best. I'm of the I like the natural course of things. If you have to fight too hard to make something fit, is it really?
What if somehow you knew it was real? Like, let's say...
I can't come up with an obstacle that I'd be willing to overcome. The obstacle would just have to be there, and then I'd decide whether it was worth it or not. Part of those gestures, though, is that you don't know that it's mutual, and part of what's sweet about it is that you put the act of humility is putting yourself on the line that way.
I agree, but I really feel that only works in films.
Right? Yeah.
Would you live in a city across the world in Asia for a year? For a job? Just to go back to...
No, that's so much pressure.
Yeah.
No. I don't... That's another, romantic idea that's nice to think about, but in reality, that would terrify the crap out of me. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Just a friendly reminder, guys. Hit the subscribe button in this corner. And then for the newest video. Then for the most recommended. And then for our famous dick pic.